We're good to roll? We're good to roll? All right.
Yeah, that's good because 75 I was 15. That's when
Yeah.
everything started.
Yeah.
Uh, and like I told you before, everything started in 1932.
Yeah.
But really, when the Civil War started was 1975, the demonstration, and then
Yeah.
by 1979 when they really started attacking, yeah, the government, the army,
So
the
Mario.
headquarters and everything.
Not me.
Um, it's already.
Yeah. So
Uh,
so what did you do from 75 until you left? Like, what? How did you fill your time? You were working
well,
with
75 is no, I
friends. Like, well,
was
what did
well
you see
19
during that time?
75 was I was studying, still. I mean, it's and working with my dad too. I was helping him, in the farm, but I was going to school too. So actually, I was traveling a lot, like almost every day, from my hometown to the capital city for my classes. But before doing that, I was helping my dad also with the harvesting. That's
And what
how
did
I
he
was
harvest?
during that time.
Just relax your arm.
Um,
Yeah.
that's how I was doing that time. But it wasn't really much going because, like, the Civil War actually started like 79, 80. That's when it started. Uh, During the time, 75 was demonstrations. That's what it was. Uh, Army was attacking people, during the demonstrations. And like I said before, finally they said enough is enough, and they started really attacking. That's when they got all of these, weapons coming from Nicaragua, Cuba, all of those places to the guerrillas to really start fighting the government. So that's how it started. But 75 to 79, really not much going as far as fighting or nothing. It was just demonstrations for people. Hey, we don't like this, we don't like that, we don't like the government, remove the government, things like that. So, yeah, but not much
So how did
until,
that change when you were 20?
yeah, when I was 20, that's when everything started. Yeah, 19 actually. I was still 19. I was working. And a lot of stuff that I told you that I saw, this is when I was traveling by bus.
So tell me about it.
Uh, well, like I told you, every 2 weeks, I used to go and see my family in my hometown. And we see bodies along the road. I mean, really. You see them, it's like, wow. You see them like animals dead over there, like that. Because it was like kind of normal. That's how it became. One time it was a pile of bodies, one on top of the other ones. And they said these were guerrilla members. People say that, the news say that, because the picture was on the news. The live news was also, from these bodies, stacked, one on top of the other one. And I saw him because the bus just stopped by over there, and then we saw him and then just keep going. So, yeah, I saw all of the stuff. I saw bodies hanging from the bridges, they hang over there. And that was the guerrilla who did that. And the news was like that. We knew it was the guerrilla or the army, either one who did it, because it was on the news. Everything we knew was also from the news. A lot of stuff. Uh, if you saw it, yeah, you could say, yeah, oh yeah, it's true. I saw it. But sometimes you have to rely on the news for the information. Um, I told you where I used to work was a private club, membership club, rich people. And actually being inside the job was not a problem because it was safe. The problem was when you're riding the bus, when you're walking around, that was the problem. Because the guerrilla, you know how the guerrilla war is. They don't know where they're coming from. They don't know what time they're going to attack. If there is a truck, filled with soldiers or police, they will come over and just shoot them and run. That's how they did it. And sometimes they will engage, in the fighting. So they did it. I feel like a lot of time I was in danger. I told you before. That's the reason I decided to leave. one of the reasons I decided to leave. It wasn't safe. And when I talked to my parents, it was not an excuse, it was the truth. I mean, what happened, what people went to say about us, that's what I told them. I want to leave. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of that, I'd rather leave. I'd rather be far away and alive than being dead, on the ground. And they agreed with me. They let me leave the country. I was worried about them because at that age, I'd never been outside the country. My parents knew, the trip I was going to take wasn't going to be safe either, coming to this country. And I was worried about them, that emotionally they're going to get really bad. When I went back over there in 1990, they told me, yeah, my mother was okay, but my dad, he had to be taken to the hospital because I left. That's how, I didn't know he was that close with me until I left. They say, yeah, he was emotionally sick, that they had to take him to the hospital. I think his heart, started giving up because his youngest son left already and he didn't know what the future was going to be for him. I mean, it was a long way to come right here, Guatemala, Mexico, and then, making it to USA. It wasn't easy. And he knew that. He knew maybe it was the last time I saw you, so I don't know if you're coming back alive. So that's how it was. But it was a risk to take. I took it. And even though some people don't appreciate it, I appreciate it, that this country gave me the chance. It wasn't easy for me to adjust to a new place, language, new people, but I survived. But going back to El Salvador, yeah, it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe because killing was very common every day. I mean, every day with bodies, because that's the way it was, Civil War. I think it was 1985 when the guerrilla kidnapped my brother and they took him. I mean, they took him to not only him, it was a group of young guys, they took. The reason was because they wanted to train him and also do a brainwash, tell him about the situation, what the government was doing. And that was the way to convince him, oh yeah, join us, join us because the government is doing this to us, is doing that. That's a brainwash. So they took him, he got kidnapped. He said that they walked, I don't know, like at least 5-6 kilometers, That's how far they walked. But he was able to escape. Him and another guy, they were able to escape. The problem is, it wasn't easy because you got the guerrillas, it's like a long line. They got the guerrillas on both sides, with the guns and everything. And they told him, you guys try to escape, we shoot you. That's how it was. So there's no way they can escape. But they were able to escape, and then they went into town to try to get the bus, to go back to his hometown. But then the National Guard stopped him. And the problem is they didn't have any IDs because the guerrilla took him already. I mean, the IDs is like a little book like this, not like the ones right here. They didn't have any IDs. So there was no way for them to prove to the National Guard that they didn't belong to guerrillas, because how can they prove it? What they thought is that they gave them false names, because that's how the guerrilla was. The guerrilla never used the real names. So they say that when they were telling these guys, yeah, my name is, my brother, for example, Gregorio, okay? And I was taken by the guerrilla, this happened, this and that, and we escaped. And the National Guard was saying, oh, no, you guys are spying on us. That's what it is. You guys are spying. we're gonna kill you right here on the spot. And he said that they were ready to kill him right there. Lucky for him, there was another national who just barely coming to see what was going on, and right away he goes, "I know this guy. He's my cousin," like that. One of the National Guard's members, and the other ones asked him, the one in charge, sergeant, I don't know what he was, and he goes like, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, I know him. He's my cousin. I respond for him." And they told him, "Are you sure? Because we're gonna kill him right now." So he said they were like ready to shoot him when these guys showed up. And said, "No, let him go. He's my cousin." So he got lucky. They let him go. So that's how it was. I mean, it's like I said, situation was not like the best over there for people, young people. Old people was okay, but young people, you know why? Because young people was the one to train and go fighting. That's the way it was. And like I said before, I was only 19, so I was a perfect candidate either for the army, or the guerrillas. I knew people on both sides, and I didn't want to join them, never, because that was not my issue. I mean, I wasn't raised to. The way I was raised, by my family was respect people. I never knew how to use a gun, I never knew how to use any weapons. Even now, I don't even know, because that's how I was raised by my dad. So